Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of Benchwarmers. I am Benjamin. It is Monday. We just wrapped up NBA All-Star Weekend. Now we're on a bit of a bye week, so it's kind of strange. But anyway, JM1620, what's going on, brother? Ugly Man Chief in the house. Arr, arr, arr. Best of AZ, what's going on? David Kern Sports. Ben Ver 13, what is going on? New York Hat Guy, what's up, dude? I'm hoping Steven Seavright pops in here because I'm going to be talking about him for a bit. Denzi Vice, what's going on? And X Danny 310X, G the Rotten House. I know it was a good weekend for you, especially if you're, still hanging on to Damian Lillard being the greatest of all time and stuff like that. So, we'll talk about that here in a bit. Scotty with the sneaks, what's going on? And Leo Fitteds, TX, holla. Lee Castle, hey, Flash Fire in the house today. Love it. Oh, man. NBA All-Star Weekend. What the fuck? Anyway, Mace Wrights, what's going on, dude? A lot of people here today. I love it. Jersey scoops. There was this one in particular was supposed to come in last week. Scarface 1197. What's going on? Well, I got two here. One is one I've already had. So, but they're both basically the same goddamn team. But Best Vasey says, yeah, I wasn't impressed either with NBA All-Star Weekend. Yeah. Ugh. We'll talk. We'll discuss. We'll break this down. But anyway, I was going through because I just sent my latest shipment of jerseys off to my friend. Do with it necessarily. G. Laurent, I cut in and out. Am I back? All right. G. Laurent says, if Shaedon Sharpe was healthy, he would have dominated the dunk contest 100%. And I hope to God he's in it next season because that man was desperately needed. Ugly Man Chief says, don't hate me, but the All-Star Weekend isn't hitting the same for me. The players don't care. Why should we? It's kind of a good point. Hadaholic says, Benjamin, quick preview of Bordeaux. Wednesday. We'll do that on recap because we'll have the full slate and stuff for you guys because those will be dropping on Thursday. So we got plenty of time to show that off. Bezabasis says, so you're not going next year, Chief. Isn't your hood? Yeah, it's gonna be in San Francisco, baby. I'm gonna try and go. I was gonna say it's Lou. Yeah, this is the first time you've joined the Benchwarmer stream, man. Appreciate you being here. And Hadaholic, holla. Jax O'Kev, what's going on? Man, just a lot of people just popping in saying, hey, I love it. Wait, no, Lehman said, Lehman is here. Keep Capping is here. Lehman says, how's it going? No recap this week is going to go crazy. Lots of Seattle's on the way. Waiting to hear that Hat Club going on the road again soon. Not too distant future. I think we're going to talk about that next week on recap. And it's Lou says, by the way, shout out to you showing me the St. Louis hat on Twitter. Of course, dude. That's what I'm here for, man. I had him locked and loaded, ready to go, baby. But Liam Minas, he's still at work, was a little bit late. It's all good, brother. Your presence here alone is worth the price of admission. Scotty with the sneak says they barely care about regular season games. They want to play 62 games and still get $400 million contracts. The NBA is doomed. You might be right there. Jax O'Kev says, when is Hat Club coming to Charlotte? Dude, I want to go to Charlotte so effing bad for two reasons. And it's a perfect question or perfect comment leading into Jersey. So for those of you guys who don't know, Champion is actually based out of North Carolina. So I want to go to North Carolina for the sake of going to Champion headquarters, trying to find somebody there who has like a full archive list of every jersey Champion ever made, because I only know what exists based on photos I've seen, ones I've seen in person, etc. And, in the realm of Pokemon, I'm trying to collect them all, obviously. So I need a finite answer to know how many I've got left to go. And that's one of the primary reasons why I want to go to North Carolina. Reason number two, there's a ton of vintage shops in Charlotte that I definitely want to check out. And a lot of guys have some really good stuff. But more importantly, we've got like a decent fan base in Charlotte. And so I would love to go out there, spread the Hat Club love, etc. Get a Charlotte Knights fitted into the mix there. A couple different varieties. I mean, I had one right there in the Big Ben's Knockout collection. So I know what it's all about. I'm hanging. Um, Going back to the comments here, Big Red Fitted, what's going on, dude? Need to bring relegation to American sports, he says. Yes. I am in 100% agreement with you on that. That's kind of the problem we have here. I mean, we do have minor leagues and stuff like that, but there really is no punishment if you decide to tank your team at the end of the season. Cough, cough, Oakland Athletics. What the fuck are you doing? So yeah, I'm in total agreement on that. G. Laurent says, gonna need these AZ exclusives to drop soon while I've got free time on my hands before I start my new job next month. When do you start your new job? Congratulations, by the way. That's awesome. But I'll try and give you like a ballpark as far as like when we're going to talk about doing stuff. So Liam Mina says, never watched the NBA. I might when the Sonics come back. Hey, we're like 3 years away from that happening. But besides the fact that we're all tall as shit, but they're all tall shit, looks boring now, no defense. Yeah, I'll get into that in a minute because I am very, very pro defense. And I'll talk about like I never played in the NBA, obviously. I never played college ball. I might have been able to play junior college, whatever. But on March 12th, you're good, dude. You're fucking solid, baby. Excuse me. But during my times when I played high school ball and stuff like that, like there was one season where I led the league in blocks and steals. And granted, I'm only 6'3". They put me down at small forward, even though, by my height, should be a shooting guard, whatever. But I'll admit I was not that proficient of a scorer. However, that same season where I led the league in blocks and steals, I also led the league in field goal percentage. I went 13 for 13 from the field. So 100%, baby. And 3 for 3 from the free throw line. That was my sophomore year. So after that, it was all downhill. But that 1 year, sophomore, living legend. I'm being dead serious about that, but not the living legend part. I thought I was better at basketball than I was. I mean, I was decent, but I was a much better baseball player. Liam Ada says, even football, if it's actually good defense and not just bad offense. I agree, dude. I don't need high scoring games. I mean, this goes for baseball as well, where it's just like, I don't need to see home runs like every, couple at bats or so. I like a good pitcher's duel. I like to see flashy gloves, flashy leather. I'm all about that life. It's both sides of the ball here. And it's like if you're only good at one side from a basketball perspective, then you're not necessarily needed. There's better dudes out there. David Kern says Brody might not have played in the pros, but he played a crap ton of NBA Jam. You goddamn right I did. Beating all sorts of ass at that game. Except, I did split with Chris Ruley, the manager of Arrowhead, when we were in Denver for SneakerCon. He beat me the first game. I crushed him in the second game. I'm still pissed about that. Anyway, jerseys. All right. So this one I've had, I was going to send it off, but I didn't know which player to get. So it is a purple Los Angeles Lakers jersey, draft jersey from 1995. It's got the number 1 on the front, number 1 on the back, but no name. Now, I could go Anthony Peeler. That's an obvious number 1 for the Laker era. I feel like that's a little too easy. And plus, on top of which, I know for a fact Champion did make a purple Anthony Peeler jersey. They also made a yellow one. So still trying to track those down. And I feel like that would be like an easy out for me. Just go with the Peeler. Plus, I already have an Anthony Peeler Minnesota Timberwolves. So it's not like I need it, but only need it in the sense where I'm trying to collect all of them. So the other name, as far as the number 1 that came up, was Wes Matthews, Wes Matthews Sr. I feel like that'd be kind of an interesting one to kind of throw in the mix on this one. So, but I got some time before my next wave that I'm going to send to Marlon. I sent him like 16 a couple days ago. So we'll see, how those turn out. I imagine they're going to be immaculate because he always does amazing work, getting a lot of names and numbers changed and stuff like that. So once I get that order in, I'll definitely show it off to you guys. But anyway, this was the big jersey I got in. And the crazy thing about this one is I talked about it a couple of weeks ago on Benchwarmers, where I had a random thought. Like I was sitting around my apartment working on some stuff, and I kept thinking about this particular jersey. And it's like, man, I haven't seen this one for a while. And the last time I did, some guy was trying to get like $350 for it. But I had another friend up in Portland who had one for 140 on his website. And I let it go, let it go, let it go. And then finally, one of my friends in San Leandro, so about 8 miles away from me, bought it along with another jersey I was keeping an eye on, and then ended up flipping them for more money. So it's just like shit. So I've been waiting for one to pop up. And then, like I said, I was thinking about it, a couple weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, like an hour later, it popped up on eBay. Now, granted, it was not a buy it now. It was an auction that started at 99 cents, which is dope. Um, if I can get it on the cheap as much as I possibly can, I will. However, I think the bid was already up to like $20 by the time I came around on it. So I had to watch it for a few days. And then when I was in Utah, when my mom and I went to the Jazz Milwaukee Bucks game, that was when the auction ended. So it ended about 30 minutes before tip off. So I'm like chilling in the parking lot in the car, just waiting for this auction to end because Lord knows how bad the internet quality is going to be inside that arena with so many people. So it's like, I need this fucking jersey. So I got it. Only cost me 164, which may seem outlandish, but considering the fact that the cheapest I'd ever seen it for was $140, and that was back in 2020, 4 years later, 24 more dollars, not a big deal. The chat stopped all of a sudden, or everybody just stopped talking. But anyway, so here it is. It is a Laker jersey. It is number 8, which most people, if you see it from the front, you're going to assume, oh, Kobe Bryant. Doug Christie, baby. Holla. And it is in absolutely immaculate condition. Like no fading, no cracking whatsoever on this bad boy. Dude, beyond stoked on this one. I'd been trying to track this down for a long ass fucking time. And especially considering that, like every other Doug Christie jersey the champion ever made, I've got all of his Sacramento Kings. I got his Toronto Raptors. They never made one for him from when he played for the New York Knicks. So I might have to get one custom made. I don't know. But the Laker one was like the hardest one to track down because they made so few of them and they only made them for like one season. Like he started his career off with the Lakers for 2 years. And if you guys don't remember, he played college ball at Pepperdine. So the Malibu to LA connection was pretty strong. And that's why they actually made his jersey for the 1 year. So super fired up about this one. I might have to take it with me to Vegas this week. I don't know. Or at least at some point. So yes, thank you guys. Tone Cruz, what's going on? Lee Castle asked, what got me into champion jerseys? That's actually a good question that a lot of people ask me about. So this goes back to my 12th birthday back in 1995. Yes, I'm 41 goddamn years old. Because it was actually my birthday back in February 5th. So I'm 41 now. And 2 friends of mine in Mrs. Costello's 6th grade class. This is at Discovery Elementary School in Bakersfield, California. Both of them had champion jerseys. Like my friend Jeff had a Jason Kidd, Dallas Mavericks. My friend Casey Langdon had a blue Shaquille O'Neal, but he also had a black Anthony Hardaway. And then Jeff also had another one, but I can't remember what it was. And for whatever reason, I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. And so when my 12th birthday came around, I bought a red Grant Hill rookie jersey. So I was it. I was locked in for life at that point. So here we are 29 years later, and I still got them coming in the mail. So never stopped, just stuck with it. I always felt like the champion quality was like much stronger than every other brand. Like that includes Reebok, Adidas, now Nike. Like the Nike fits just don't, it doesn't have the same feel to it. But in which case, you look at this and then you can throw Mitchell and Ness in the mix on this too. Like Mitchell and Ness jerseys get like knockoff versions left and right, but it's like hard as fuck to like fake a champion jersey. So, but yeah, going back to, when this jersey first came out, which of course was the early 90s, this was definitely came out before I was collecting. And the fact that it's still in like this pristine of a condition, like really goes to show if you take care of your shit, it will show. And I absolutely love this. So that's how it started, and that's how it's going. G. Laurent says, have an old school buddy that played at Oregon and Pepperdine. What's their name? I wonder if I know who they are. Not like not know them personally, but I mean know of them from playing, ball at both those schools. Because the one thing I'll say in regard to Pepperdine, their head coach right now, Lorenzo Ramar, who, when I went to basketball camp in between my 7th and 8th grade, or no, sorry, 8th grade and freshman year, so junior high, freshman year of high school, I went to basketball camp at Pepperdine at Malibu, and Lorenzo Romar was the head coach there at that point in time. He was just getting started. And then you go flash forward a few years, he went to the University of Washington, was the head coach there for like over a decade. Then they finally let him go because they never, I mean, they had some star players. I mean, Brandon Roy, Isaiah Thomas, etc. But then they let him go just because they never, went deep in the tournament, never won a championship, never Pac-12 championship, whatever. So now he's back at Pepperdine. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Huge, huge deal. AJ Lepre? Damn, that's a name I haven't heard of in ages. The next time I'm in Arizona, like you and I got to talk about this because I'm actually genuinely interested in like how you guys know each other and stuff like that, because that's fucking dope. New York Hat Guy asks, "Hey Ben, what do you think made the best MLB? Oh, who do you think made the best MLB jerseys? Rawlings, Majestic, etc." So I'm gonna go a little snag there. I always like the Rawlings ones a lot more, and especially with like the stitch quality they had on the sleeves, immaculate. Um, Russell Athletic, I'm going to throw in the mix as well. Not a lot of people remember that, but in regards to like the authentic quality for a lot of that stuff, I got to go either Russell Athletic or Rawlings. I love Majestic. Like I have a ton of Majestic jerseys. I have a ton of Majestic player tees and such. So I will never hate on them, but I would say in regard to those three, Majestic still falls in the third spot, but like Russell Athletic and Rawlings are definitely like 1, 2. Logan Herrera says Majestic. I'm biased because that's how I started out with a few jerseys I got from AliExpress. I totally get that. The first jerseys I ever got were, like I said, were Russell Athletic and Rawlings, and I love the hell out of them. I even have like a few Wilson jerseys because Wilson was primarily doing like minor league baseball. But yeah, I still have a ton of my Majestic jerseys. I wasn't a big fan when they started doing like the sweat wicking material. I always just like the straight poly. I like the replicas essentially. I always felt like those fit better than the authentics for Majestic specifically. But New York Hat Guy, he's a Rawlings guy. Totally get it. Lee Castle says, haven't been on Benchwarmers for a bit, but have you talked about the new MLB jerseys this year? No, I have not. And I kind of don't want to because they're so fucking terrible. Absolute major downgrade. So, and it's like Fanatics is blaming Nike. Manfred is blaming Nike and all this stuff. And it's just like, no, dude. Nike would not downgrade itself in this bit of quality. It's 100% Fanatics. Fanatics like basically owns the entire retail market for Major League Baseball, the NHL, NBA, and the NFL. And so to say that, oh yeah, Nike would be this brash to put out this poor of a quality of product, like, come on, dude. Like, don't even get me started on that shit. Yeah, it's Lou saying DH Gate got better quality. I agree with that. And then Logo Herrera says Fanatics disaster class, in my opinion. It's been Fanatics the whole time. 100%, dude. Like, I don't know how you think you're gonna like slide or what with this. Because I mean, the first off, you're going from a stitch quality to a heat press. What the fuck is that? And then on top of which, I mean, the kerning in between like the outside edges and the logo itself, god awful. So, and It's Lou says Michael Rubin will pay for his crimes. Love that. Yes, MLS is definitely with them as well, and I hate that. Like, I miss the old quality of MLS jerseys. Like, the few Portland Timbers ones I have are from like when they first entered the league, like the first couple of years, and I'll still wear those. Like, I will not get any of the new ones. Like, all the new shit is just terrible. And so, that's why a guy like myself is still buying stuff from like the late 90s, mid 90s, late 2000s, or sorry, early 2000s. So, and then Liamina says, happy I stocked up on most of my Mariners jerseys last year. Dude, I don't blame you for that. Like, the old stuff is infinitely better. And I will die on that hill. And I feel like a lot of you guys will join me in that battle. So anyway, I don't know why my camera is being all like goofy. But anyway, let's talk about baseball. Because spring training starts this week. It kicks off on Thursday. the 22nd. I'm going to be in Vegas, of course, but then Sunday, do the end. I cut out there. Not to mention on Monday at the warehouse in Gilbert, Arizona, we got the fall sweepstakes winner, Johnny, coming through because he's going to the Lakers Suns game the night before. He's got to go to the warehouse, pick up his grand prize, the hat carrier with all 6 hats, etc. We're going to talk more about that on Wednesday. So looking forward to meeting him. But if I got time, I'm definitely going to catch a spring training game while I'm down there. But the bigger thing with baseball right now is what the fuck is going on with the owners. No, dude, yeah. It's Lou says, don't let him near New Era. I know he's referring to Michael Rubin and Fanatics. Like, if anything ever happens to like the quality of New Era hats, like we're all doomed. So hopefully the Cook family maintains their level of tact and quality within their product because it's a big deal. But anyway, Oakland A situation obviously still going with the city of Oakland, quote unquote, get the stadium finished, Vegas, whatever. But, Oakland and Mayor Tao have all the leverage right now in regard to negotiating a deal to not only keep them here for the next few years, but also to own and keep the athletics naming rights. If they're able to pull that off, fuck yeah. Good on you. And it better guarantee, especially within this paperwork and stuff with Major League Baseball, that when, baseball expands, that Oakland gets a team. So that way we can continue to use the Athletics name. Like, that's the only way this is going to work. But even at that, what's his nuts? Owner for the Chicago White Sox. I don't know why I can't remember his name right now. But he wants $1 billion for a new stadium for the White Sox. This dude's a multi-billionaire. Like, made all of his money in real estate. What the hell you need money from the city of Chicago for? What the fuck is his name? I totally forgot. Jerry Reinsdorf. Sorry, Jerry Reinsdorf. Thank you. Logan Herrera. Thank you. Like, the R name was in my head, and especially if you guys follow my personal Twitter account, like I had some stuff to say about that the other day, which was probably not up to par. But anyway, yes, that's it. Flashfire. That's exactly what I said. I mean, I don't mean it like, if it's natural causes, that's one thing. But no, it's the same shit over and over. And the fact that I don't know how well you guys are versed on like the old happenings of Major League Baseball, especially like before Bud Selig became commissioner, and the fact that him and Reinsdorf were the heads of the collusion issues back in the 1980, which I'll give you the short version. So when free agency happened, shout out to Marvin Miller for helping make that happen, and getting players paid. Sorry, I screwed that one up. When the whole free agency thing, kind of first started, owners lost a lot of their power. We're having to hemorrhage out more money to get talent, et cetera, et cetera. So then Bud Selig and Reinsdorf, and then this is the whole collusion pact with all the other owners. Like, when players went up to the free agent market, other teams would not sign them. And then therefore the team that they were originally on would be able to sign that player for way less than their actual market value. And everybody got in trouble for that. And somehow Bud Selig then later became the MLB commissioner, and the game has been corrupt ever since. Like, as much as people hate fucking steroids, which I don't know why steroids made baseball better. Like, let's get that one out of the way first. And all the owners and Bud Selig especially like allowed this to happen. And then once, everybody took issue, man, F that. So no, I can totally see Reinsdorf living a long ass time. Exactly what Logan Herrera is saying right now, pulling a Kissinger. So, yeah. So now he wants $1 billion for a new stadium. F you, pal. And now the Arizona Diamondbacks are pulling the same thing, talking about pulling up stakes and looking at, greener pastures elsewhere because they want financing for a new stadium. F them as well. Here's an idea. Sell your fucking team. If you cannot afford to get yourself a stadium, and especially like the most mind-boggling part about this is that all these dudes who are asking for new stadiums and such are all these real estate bigwigs. Like, you of all people should know, buy your own fucking land, construct it yourself, and retain all the money that comes in. So that way you don't have to share it with the rest of the city. Like, I don't understand how. Hmm. I'm done with it, man. I'm so fucking pissed about it. David Kern says summer of '98 home run race will never be topped. Never, never. And anybody who thinks that was not one of the greatest years in baseball history is a fucking liar. It was amazing. But anyway, spring training starts this week, so looking forward to see all the new players on new teams and stuff like that. Shohei Ohtani, especially with the Dodgers, even though I personally don't think the Dodgers are going to make the playoffs this year, but the years going forward, they probably will. Logan Hurst says they haven't had to practice what they preach since 1980s. I agree with that. Dude, it's wild. And Flashfire says we need every city to say no to public funds for stadiums and also no to relocation threats, but we know that won't happen. I mean, the fans will revolt. Like, look at what we're doing in Oakland. Like, we are making our own merch. We're doing our own fans fest this weekend, which sadly I will not be able to attend, but Flashfire I know is going, so that's awesome on you. And, the team has no involvement whatsoever. Like, we as fans, this is our day. And the fact that, former players, major sponsors are coming through. The Stockton Ports, the single A team for the Oakland A's are coming through and doing stuff for that. Like, this really goes to show like how big of a deal it is that the fans are sticking it to the owner of the Oakland A's. We're not tolerating this shit anymore. So I hope to God other fan bases that are going through this do the exact same thing, because that's the only way we as fans are going to win this goddamn war. G. Laurent says Pablo Sandoval back with the Giants spring training squad. Good to see him back in action. He looks great. So I don't know. We'll see what that actually means for him, if he's going to get on the major league roster or not. It's Lou says to all my Arizona residents here, the chat, where would a new stadium be located? That's what I'm kind of curious about too. I mean, I think the stadium they have right now is decent, and it's in a Benchwarmers come for sports still. Oh man. Anyway, let's talk about some happier news. Jaromir Jagr, future NHL Hall of Famer, and an emphasis on future. Like, he hasn't played in the NHL since 2018, but because he's been playing in other leagues still at the ripe old age of 47 years old, damn near 50. That's the only reason why he hasn't gotten the Hall of Fame yet. Like, he's like 6 years removed from playing the NHL, but because he's still playing hockey elsewhere, his eligibility is still being like backlogged essentially. So he last played this last season. But rookie year back in 1990, won back-to-back Stanley Cups with all those gentlemen sitting around him, most notably Mario Lemieux. At the ripe age of 18 and 19 years old, he won his first 2 years in the NHL, and he won 2 Stanley Cups. Good for him. But his jersey retirement ceremony was this weekend with the Pittsburgh Penguins, finally retiring number 68. That he gave, it is incredible. Loves his family, loves his teammates, loves the organization. And then the best part of it, of course, was the part where he's talking about his girlfriend not being old enough to remember the years that he played with the Penguins is like so on brand for him. Like, the dude, like when I was joking earlier about me playing high school basketball and being a living legend. No, Jaromir Jagr is a goddamn living legend. Love that guy. Couldn't be happier for him. Cannot wait to see him get in the Hall of Fame. Dude deserves it. And the fact that he, before the ceremony and everything like that, he took on ice warm up with the team still. Like, dude's got it. Dude loves the game. Dude is still built to play the game for even as old as he is. And we talk about back in the day with like Gordie Howe playing until he was like 60 goddamn years old. You don't see a lot of guys like that anymore. And I feel like Jaromir Jagr for this modern day generation is the closest we get. And for as skilled as players are, training regimens having changed over the last couple decades, for a guy to be as old as he was, playing for, what was that? 28 years. And not to mention the fact that between '08 and 11, he went to Russia to play in the KHL just because he wanted a new challenge and he wasn't really feeling it in the NHL. Only to come back to the NHL and play with a bunch of other squads. And so, like I said, he played till 2018. Absolutely incredible. So shout out to him. Shout out to him. G. Laurent says, as a Tempe resident, I know Tempe is trying to become a central hub for a lot of stuff. We tried getting the Glendale, but it's like too far out, especially from like, the central hub of what Phoenix is. Like Tempe is a much more ideal location for a lot of this stuff. Best of AC says Tempe voted no on a stadium for the Coyotes. Yeah, and that's why they're playing at basically a college hockey rink right now. It's wild. Like that is such a mismanaged organization. It's gotta bite my tongue there a little bit. Gotta bite my tongue there a little bit. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. English Premier League action. This weekend was hot for soccer. Liverpool, of course, absolutely destroying Brentford 4-1. 5-0 Arsenal over Burnley. No big surprise there. Newcastle Bournemouth with the tie or the draw, however you fancy want to be with it, 2-2. There's one game in particular I want to get to. This is why I'm hammering through these. Aston Villa finally getting back in the win column, so 2-1 over Fulham. Nottingham Forest with a surprise win over West Ham, pushing them a little bit further away from relegation. Good for them. Wolverhampton, surprise win over Chelsea a couple weeks ago. Then they shocked the world against Tottenham with a 2-1 victory over the Hotspur. Brighton absolutely beat the brakes off of Sheffield United. Makes sense why Sheffield United is the bottom tier for relegation in the Premiership. Man United, 2 quick goals to start the game. Luton Town came back in the 14th minute, and then just everything blanked from that point forward. Man United won 2-1. This is the game I want to talk about. God, I hate that you're a Man United fan. No, it's Lou. Man City plays tomorrow, so that'll get them back on track. And then this weekend, everything kind of goes back to normal. But this game was insane for multiple reasons. One, the fact that Chelsea was able to score first and play staunch defense throughout the majority of the game was like absolutely incredible, especially based on the way that Chelsea's been playing and after the loss to Wolverhampton a couple weeks ago, which made absolutely no goddamn sense to me. But Raheem Sterling, and there was a stat that the commentators talked about saying that like somehow Raheem Sterling, a former Man City player, scoring a goal against Man City was like the first time in, Premiership history that this ever happened. That's not true at all. And I knew it was bullshit when I heard it, and I was completely like thrown off by it because James Milner did the exact same thing when he went to Liverpool or something like that and scored against Man City. So whatever the hell that was about. But anyway, the bigger thing about this one is Chelsea scoring first put me in a great position of all things because I had a feeling that Man City was still going to come back in this game. However, if Chelsea won, that would have taken them from 11th place all the way up to 8th, and then Man City would potentially drop out of the top 4. But they drew. And the crazy thing about this is that's exactly how I said the game would end last week on Benchwarmers. So, bam. Yes, exactly, Logan Herrera. James Milner erasure. Unacceptable. But most notably, before Rodriguez scored for Man City, I was texting with Steven Seavright, which is why I was hoping he was here so I could bring this back up and go to, yesterday, 11:13, whatever. And I had sent him because based on how great Chelsea was playing, and especially at defense, I will not be upset if this result holds. This is when Chelsea was up 1-0. Petrovic, the Chelsea goalkeeper, out here balling like Peter Cech, which he was. And then as soon as I sent that text, that's when Rodri scored for Man City. Fuck. And then so of course Steven's response, you had to say something, and then me, of course, Man City scores after I text you. Fuck. That's the breaks right there. So I'm glad Chelsea was able to get a point and prevent, a loss, whatever. It would have been better to get 3 points, get up to that 8th spot. G. Laurent says, I hate Chelsea, but my hatred for City runs to the Earth's core. Goddamn right it does. So I'll take the minor victory on that one. I'll take that. And then, of course, today, Crystal Palace Everton played this afternoon. They drew as well, so at least Everton got the point out of it. But here's how the standings look. So I think I was a little wrong when I said Man City would have fallen in the top four. They just wouldn't have gotten to 52 points, which anyway, or 53. So top four, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa back in the top four after a week out. Tottenham lost, so that pushed them back. Aston Villa, of course, getting the 3 points for the win. Man United, Brighton, Newcastle, West Ham, and Chelsea round out the top 10. Would have been nice to see Chelsea right above Newcastle there. That's all I'm going to say. But Wolverhampton back to the 11th spot. Fulham, Bournemouth, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest in the 16th spot. Little bit of breathing room there. And then, of course, Everton getting the point today against Crystal Palace. Goal differential puts them slightly ahead of Luton Town. To which case, I think Luton Town plays Man City next. I think so. Anyway, but Luton Town, Burnley, Sheffield United right now sitting in the relegation zone. Anyway, there we go. NBA All-Star Weekend. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, I got thrown off by the Mbappe conversation that was going on right now, and it's just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to Real Madrid, which Gia Laurent just commented on. Flashfire says, it's funny that my only knowledge of Man City comes from Oasis being for them instead of Man United back in the day. I mean, back then it was more respectable for anybody to be a fan of Man City because Man City was god awful. Man United was definitely the top dog, especially under Sir Alex. So I don't know. Anyway, NBA All-Star Weekend, the festivities kicked off, Thursday, Friday, but Saturday was like the big night. I had tickets for that, ended up selling them, made a $27 profit, which was kind of nice because I wasn't able to get tickets to the actual game, so I didn't see any point in going. But anyway, kicking things off, it was the skills challenge. Team Pacers versus Team Top Picks. So that was Paolo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, Victor Wembanyama, number one picks, obviously, for the last couple of years. And then the Team All-Stars, which was Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, and Trae Young. It was good for the Pacers. It was great for the Pacers. Scotty Barnes, of course, had a little bit of trouble with the skills competition of just dribbling. And then a lot of the other teams were just having difficulty navigating and whatever. But the Pacers locked up like the first two. There were three contests, and the one that the Pacers did not win outright was where you had to shoot like 3-pointers from like all over the court and pass it around and whatever. Like it was fun. Like it's Flashfire says, skills challenge was kind of fun. And I agree with your second part. I'm going to get to that in here in a minute. But the fact that there was a tie after all 3 rounds of the skills challenge, and so essentially it was, hey, you're on the clock. Whoever can score a half court shot the fastest, that's your winner, which is absolutely insane for 2 reasons. One, what a stupid way to crown a champion. But then more importantly, who was it? It was Team All Stars. It took them 58 seconds, 3 dudes, and they're just like throwing stuff up to hit one goddamn half court shot. That's crazy. And I was getting a little nervous because the Pacers still, took about 36 seconds to do it. And thank God they won. Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton because he's the one that nailed it. That's crazy. And I felt bad for him because here he is doing like all these skills competitions, shooting threes, shooting half court shots. And then a few minutes later, he's got to join the 3-point competition. To which case he did pretty damn well in that, I got to say. But yeah, Team Pacers took down the skills competition. Then we go into the 3-point shooting. Damian Lillard, the reigning champion, Damian Lillard. That's Donovan Mitchell, Lauri Markkanen were the competitors. And at the end of the first round, there were 4 dudes tied with 26 points. Damian, Tyrese, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Trae Young, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Trae Young. And the crazy thing about this is they only take 3 people into the final round, to which case it's like, if you have a 4-way tie for first place, just let all 4 of them go. Because then the next thing they did was all 4 had 30 seconds to shoot as many from like all the spots as possible. And that's how Tyrese Halliburton got knocked out. So it's like, Why don't you just have them just do all the final round together and just whittle it out from there? Um, Anyway, I was hoping just the Pacers were just gonna like light it up in every single competition. Granted, they didn't have a competitor in the slam dunk competition, although Fred Jones was there as a judge, former slam dunk champion, former Indiana Pacer himself, former Oregon Duck, Fred Jones, that is. Um, but yeah, Damian Lillard, of course, won back-to-back times for the three-point competition. Shout out to him. I mean, dude is nails when it comes from shooting from the outside. So I can't hate on that. But the point that Flashfire was bringing up here just a little bit ago, Sabrina Ionescu and Stephen Curry. Of all the names I screw up Stephen. Stephen Curry, Sabrina Ionescu, um, battle the sexes, if you will, in regard to a three-point shooting competition. And of course, Sabrina went first. To which case, those first two racks, I mean, she was fucking lights out. Cleaned out the entire first rack, cleaned out the entire, oh, like, I think she missed one in the second rack. But then when she started missing some of the money balls, like on in between sections, the starry money ball, that is, that's when she kind of went downhill a little bit in the middle, but still finished with 26 points, which in retrospect, you think about the first round of the men's competition, the top scorer and four dudes all got 26 points. So Sabrina could have hung with those guys in the first round of that competition. But then Steph, of course, having the number to beat, he comes out, he puts up 29 points, wins the Battle of the Sexes belt. Oh my God, there goes. See, I knew my camera's going to go out at some point. Um, Wins the competition between the two. Um, It's cool. I mean, I was hoping Sabrina was going to win. I have personal biases there, as an Oregon Duck and big fan of Sabrina. We good? There we go. They expand it. Bring Caitlin Clark's coming in. Um, get Ajay Wilson out there. Get a lot of other like 3-point assassins from the WNBA, and just do like a 4-on-4, like 4 WNBA All Stars versus 4 NBA All Stars, and do the 3-point competition that way. Um, everything that Kenny Smith said in regard to that was just asinine because she was shooting the ball from the men's the NBA 3-point advantage, whatever. Like Sabrina is a slightly bit smaller, but anyway. Elk Dot, what's up, bro? I don't know. I mean, I'm not against a horse competition. I just feel like that would take forever. But it would be fun to see. Like at the end of the day, it would be pretty rad to see. So expand the men or NBA versus WNBA All Star. I mean, because yeah, there's no advantage in the women's game, especially if shooting from the same spots. So shout out to Steph Curry for getting the win. Shout out for Sabrina for putting up a valiant effort. What the fuck? There. I need some water. Hold on. I'm gonna let It's Lou take this one because he says, as a Celtics fan, Jalen's dunks were underwhelming for dunk contest standards, but each one paid homage, so I like that. Yeah, I mean, this one was kind of weird where he jumped over Kai Sanat. And I know he was trying to do the D Brown, but he got his arm up too late to, cover the eyes, etc. Whatever. And of course his teammate there, Jason Tatum, wearing a fucking houndstooth jacket. That was interesting. But yeah, just overall, just no originality in dunks, really. I mean, and that even went for Mac McClung. Like, I feel like he was just kind of putting his same stuff on display. This was the only thing that I felt like was, at least had some originality to it, where he, got the ball, dropped it, and then immediately caught it back and then threw it back for the two-handed reverse. To which case the judges were not a huge fan of it. And I get that because they were also judging based on the fact that he missed his first attempt, which is kind of bogus to like judge a guy on. Yes, and Flashfire just said the exact same thing. So at the end of it, yeah, I'm stoked that Mac McClung won again. I mean, I feel like for the originality, quote unquote, of dunks, that was kind of the right way to go. It's Lou says no one caught the Michael Jackson homage on his glove dunk. I knew what he was going for as like totally an in and I don't know. It's weird to see like how far the slam dunk competition has kind of fallen. And I don't know. Let's go back to 2000 with Vince Carter in everything in his arsenal. Like I wouldn't be opposed to seeing like somebody bust out everything that he did. Like I know over the years, like a couple dudes have, especially with the arm in the rim and stuff like that. Um, which is still one of the craziest things. Like when it happened in real time, it's just like you had to like think about it for a second, and go back to the replay, and it's like, okay, that was pretty fucking sick. But nobody's doing that stuff. Aaron Gordon was, but Aaron Gordon got so fed up by finishing in second place just because the fact that he was getting boned by the judges um both years that he should have won. And so, the level of failure in regard to if Shaden Sharp was healthy and could have done it on the court. But I don't know, man. I'm hoping they fix that. I mean, the fact that there are dudes out there who are just professional dunkers, not players in the NBA, like maybe dudes with like college experience or they play overseas, etc., that put up some like absolutely thrilling, awe-inspiring. Get those guys in there. Put up some bread. Like if you win or if you beat these NBA players, it's like you get this big stack of money. Like that's the way to do it. So hopefully the NBA figures this out because I don't want to waste my random Saturday night in February to watch this when I could literally be doing anything else. But anyway, Logan Reyes says, got to bring back ridiculous props like the candle off the rim or the 12-foot hoop dunk. I agree with that. Like that stuff was original. It's Luis says, NBA Live 2005 was the best dunk contest. You were able to do two between the legs. Yep. And Flashfire says, I can't imagine wasting the money people dropped on All-Star Weekend. Hence why I'm glad I sold my tickets. Oh, that would have been rough. The game itself was, I'm not going to say a travesty, but at the same time, it let me down because I remember. Oh, Lee Castle said, are you picking up EA college football this year? Fuck yeah, I am. It's going to be awesome as shit. And then Gileron says Gordon's dunk underneath his legs over the magic mascot is one of the best dunks I've ever seen. And I 100% agree with that. And the fact that, I mean, it blew the roof off the building when it happened. And especially every time you watch it in slow motion, it's like, how the hell did he do that? But he didn't win, even with that in his arsenal. Mind blowing. But anyway, Flashfire said earlier about 60% of the shots were 3-pointers, which is absolutely insane. When you have a final score like 211 to 185 or 186, sorry, forgot a point there. The East just absolutely dominated, which makes me look like a jackass because I thought the West was going to win. Even though when I first made my picks last week, I put East beating the West. I should have kept that. God damn it. It's Lou says Adam Silver was so disgusted post game. Good, because he flat out told everybody it was going to be more competitive this year. That's why they went back to the East versus West instead of this, schoolyard pick'ems league with like Team LeBron, Team whomever, making their picks and whatever. And it's just like it flopped. And most notably, I gotta say, the dude who won the goddamn MVP for this game, Damian Lillard, did not deserve it. Yeah, he had 39 points in a win, but let's look at something real quick because there's the stat line. Him and Tyrese Halliburton played the exact same amount of time. Lillard went 14 for 26 for 53% from the field. Meanwhile, Tyrese Halliburton went 11 for 15 from the field, 10 of 14 specifically from 3-point to shoot 71%. And yeah, Lillard had 7 more points than Halliburton, but it's like How do you bone a guy who shot that proficiently, like defense or not, but in the game, shot that proficiently in his home stadium? And I mean, that's why everybody was booing Lillard when he got the award afterward. Like Halliburton got boned. Oh man. And Flashfire says, yeah, Halliburton was on fire like Steph over that 90-second period in the first. 100%. Um, you can I mean, KAT getting 50 points was like one thing, but because he was on the losing effort, that's why you couldn't really give it to him. But of Kobe's passing, for MVP after Kobe Bryant. And I swear to God, and I know you all agree with me on this, if Kobe was still alive and watched that and the award was named after him, even, in life, dude would be pissed because that man, no matter the situation, NBA Finals, regular season, NBA All-Star game, Kobe busted his ass every fucking game. Even in practice, busted his ass every time he was on the court. And to, have a game like this that ends in the score the way that it did, and then, oh yeah, the best player of the game gets this award named after one of the hardest workers in NBA history. Like, that is such a smack in the face and spit on his grave. It's crazy. Um, and so it's like, for me, it's like, I'm not that interested at any point in time. Like, I want to go to the NBA All-Star game. I want to go to the festivities and stuff because I love basketball. I love the NBA. I love college basketball more specifically, but I love the NBA. And I want to experience that. But it's just like, if it's going to be this like half-ass, candy-ass lack of defense, and I go back to the 90s when like Dikembe Mutombo was out there just blocking the shit out of everybody, doing his finger wag. Like, I loved that shit. And I know everybody else did too. And I want that back. I want the effort back in this shit. And I want Kobe's legacy to be respected by all the other members of the NBA who hold him in such high regard and consider him, their idol, etc. Like, do it. Make this shit competitive again. Anyway, in the comments, Gileron says Dame was 2 for 2 from half court, though. I know, but there was nobody guarding him. Come on. The league probably felt like they couldn't give it to Hallie since he was in Indy. Like, that's so crazy. It's Luis says Kobe had a broken nose because of All-Star Weekend. Damn straight he did. And then he went back out there and kept playing as soon as the regular season game, fired back up. It was crazy. It was awesome. I miss Kobe. Flashfire says, I got to see practice in the rookie soft game at Oakland in 2000. Dude, I'm jealous of that. Like, when the All-Star game's here next year, like, I'm fucking going. And I'm glad it's only going to cost me like $10 round trip on BART. And I don't have to worry about a hotel room or anything like that. Joaquin 77, what up? Yeah, game not even fun. Like, it's cool to see dudes just fire away, but it's like you're basically just watching a practice at that point. Who can take shots from like the furthest out and sink them, like whatever. Logan Herrera says only way to make it competitive would be the same 4 quarters, but first to 30 for each quarter. Didn't they try? They did that recently, I feel like. But I agree with that. It's kind of the only way to do it. And plus it like speeds the game up. I mean, there were only 3 fouls the entire game, like 5 total free throws shot, 1 for the West, 4 for the East, and 1 of them was missed, which that's hilarious. It's Louis says, well, I got to clock out and go home. See you, Ben. See you guys. Peace, brother. See you tomorrow. See you on Wednesday. But anyway, that's kind of a wrap up on the NBA All-Star Weekend. Des Bryant, former Dallas Cowboy, Oklahoma State Cowboy, Des Bryant, had an absolutely amazing bet this weekend, all on college basketball. Shout out to him. I got to hang out with this guy and learn his tips, but it was a combination of favorites, spreads, money lines, a little bit of underdogs, etc. But he hit a 13 leg parlay. points. That one hit. I know that. Against Missouri, University of San Francisco at Loyola Marymount, money line on there. Seattle University versus Utah Tech. Who the fuck makes these picks? Montana spread -9.5 over Montana State. Arizona -18.5 over Arizona State. Oregon money line against Oregon State. This one, I watched this game and it drove me fucking crazy because Oregon was up by 12, pissed away their entire lead, and then happened to win by 2, like by some miracle. Colorado plunking on USC. Santa Clara at San Diego. That was an easy win there. Santa Clara's killing it this year. And so is St. Mary's for that matter. Wyoming at San Jose State. That was one of the few underdog picks. Same with Nevada over UNLV. And then, of course, Pepperdine against Portland. Man put up $767.68 and won $317,000. Why can't I do that? Why can't I? The crazier part about it is he had a 15-leg parlay in play as well. He put $900 up for that. Could have won $1 million, and only one leg didn't hit. And that was he picked Washington. So at least he hedged a little bit. Took out those other like the other ones. But damn, dude, that is some impressive shit right there. So shout out to Des Bryant. Man knows college basketball. So like I said, I'm going to Vegas Wednesday. I'm coming home Saturday night. NBA starts back up on Thursday. Here are the matchups that I gotta pick some winners out of this one somehow. And then on top of that, there's going to be some hockey as well going on. Most notably, Thursday, Toronto Maple Leafs at the Vegas Golden Knights. That's the whole reason I'm actually going to Vegas, is because I'm a Leafs fan. And the last time I was in Vegas for a Leafs game, that was 2019, November of 2019 specifically. The Leafs lost. And then more importantly, the next day they fired Mike Babcock. So I'm hoping to see a Leafs win this time around. And you goddamn right, I will be betting on that game. But I got to figure out some other hockey bets to mix into the fold as well. Thankfully, there's a lot of action going on. There's a ton of college basketball going on over the next week as soon as I get to Vegas. I didn't put that list up because it is massive. So yes, if you guys follow my Instagram account, check my stories throughout the week because there's going to be a lot of insane shit going on. Maybe not to the level of Des Bryant. Like I'm only going to put $5-10 on a lot of these bets, but it's going to be a lot of multi-leg parlays, a lot of underdogs in the mix there. So yeah, hopefully I'm able to hit a few of them. But anyway, my picks for last week, I went 2 for 2 again, back-to-back weeks going 2 for 2. My lock of the week, of course, I failed on that. The West over the East in the NBA All-Star game. That was stupid. I should have kept it East versus over West. The Timberwolves beat the piss out of the Clippers last Monday. So Timberwolves, of course, outright first place. Baylor did take down Oklahoma. That was good there. And of course, Chelsea versus Man City ended in a draw 1-1. Exactly how I drew it up. So I'm stoked about that one. Logan Herrera says Seattle versus Utah Tech pick is diabolical better mentality. Oh, is it now? Well, let's look at this for next week. My lock of the week, Stephen F. Austin versus Utah Valley. That's the whack, baby. Oh my God. I mean, this one was literally me picking goddamn games out of a phone book. I mean, there was like 100 games to pick from. And for whatever reason, my eyes locked on Stephen F. Austin versus Utah Valley. I don't know why. But on the bright side, after I, typed this up, I did go back and look at, how they played on the season. And Stephen F. Austin, my parlays of the week, I've got the Philadelphia on Wednesday. And then the Phoenix Suns versus the Houston Rockets. That's going to be on Friday. And then Brighton taking down Everton on Saturday. I'm hoping to go 4 for 4 this week. And I will say, I purposely did not put, like the Pacers played the Detroit Pistons on Thursday when they get back. I purposely didn't pick that one because I'm a little scared that if there's going to be a game that the Pacers are going to screw up, it's going to be that one. Much in the same sense, like for my picks, I didn't put the Leafs over the Knights, even though I'm going to put money on it, Leafs over the Knights on Thursday. I didn't want to put in my picks because I don't want to jinx myself on this. So anyway, that's it. Um, hopefully, hopefully in Vegas this week. Gonna be doing a little bit more slot machining this time around, even though I'm not a big slot machine guy, but I've got some ideas for some videos and stuff to put together, and it's all gonna be like hat related slot machines. So kind of looking forward to that. But most of my job when I do gambling, it's either gonna be sports bets, it's gonna be roulette, it's gonna be at the card table. So a lot of blackjack, a little bit of let it ride, etc. So we'll see how I do with that. But and I still got that meme of Dan Campbell of the I bet and I lost, just fired up and ready to go for every day this week. So we'll see how that goes. Tone Cruz says Hallie is going to ball out after losing All-Star Game MVP. I'm kind of banking on that, so I might actually just throw money on that as far as a multi-leg parlay. I know the Pacers are going to be favored in that one, which I'm not mad against, and I think the game is in Indiana on top of which, so the Pacers should win that game. Logan Herrera says if BetMGM allows it, Texas A&M baseball sweep parlay. Interesting. That's the kind of the weird thing. Like I don't recall seeing any college baseball betting on MGM, but I'll have to go back and double check. I'll do like a deep search on that. Um, College baseball, that's too weird of a realm for me. Like I follow Oregon as closely as I can. To which case they went 2-1 in their opening Texas/Oklahoma tournament this weekend. Dope. They beat Baylor, they beat Oklahoma, and they lost to actually, I think it was Texas Tech they lost to. So, but yeah, I'll definitely throw some shit together and let you guys know. Logan Herr then says, whenever I went last year and we ran into each other, I think they had it available. I think you're right. Cause yeah, we met, it was at, where did we run into each other? Was it at Circa? Or I was, or no, because I might have been on my way to Circa because I was like, Oregon was playing Washington in baseball, and I wanted to go to Circa to watch that game specifically. And I threw some bets on some other games, and so I was like, a lot was going on at the same time. Um, yeah, I mean, either way, it's like, I'm gonna get up ass early and put some fucking crazy shit together. And I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully I win some money. Oh, that's right. We were at no, it was that I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I now remember where we met up. Um, oh god, what's the name of that place? Because I was wearing my I was speaking to Doug Christie. I was wearing my Doug Christie Toronto Raptors jersey that day. And Culture Kings, thank you. We met up at Culture Kings. That's right. No, the crazy thing about that day. So Logan Herrera and I ran into each other there. And I vividly remember wearing, I got the photo somewhere. Hold on. Oh, it's in my pocket. Give me one sec. Where is it? Pretty sure it was after I got married. Um, yeah, because it was when I cut my hair off. Where the hell is it? Oh, here we go. What the fuck? I don't have the photo of us. I don't know what the hell happened to it. I had it and it's gone. No. Anyway, I'll find it because I know it's saved on my computer if anywhere. So Logan Herrera and I ran into each other, and like I said, I was wearing my Doug Christie Toronto Raptors jersey. Went back to New York later that day. Oh, that's right. My wife took it. Thank you. That's why she's got it. Um, went back to New York, and I hit the tables, and I ended up winning like $1,400 that day. like within like 6 hours. Like, and it was all in two hands of cards because I was playing Let It Ride. And I'm getting a full house on one hand, and then like 6 hours later, went back to the same table and hit another full house. So, and that was like $700 right there in profit times two. And dude, it was fucking nuts. Um, oh, just send the photo of my IG. Thank you. Thank you. That's where it's at. I was in panic mode there. I was just like, I know I have this photo somewhere. But anyway, yeah, dude, if we're able to run into it there again, like I said, I'm going to Vegas this week. I'll be back in Vegas March 13th through 18th. So the very last Pac-12 tournament is going down in Vegas. So if any of you guys can make it, come join us. Because right now, it's only Steven Seavright and my friend Alex, excuse me, who already lives in Vegas. The three of us are going. So the more the merrier. And if you support Pac-12 basketball, even better. So that's going to be a hell of a time. And then I'm going back the first week of April for my wife's birthday. So within a calendar month, I will be going to Vegas 3 times. And then as I just found out a little bit ago, I'll be going to Chicago as well. Pearl Jam is playing Wrigley Field again this year. So my wife locked up tickets for both nights. So we're definitely going to Chicago for both those gigs. Pearl Jam's also playing in Vegas. So I think we're going to one of those nights. And then August, I'll be back in Vegas because it's my boy's birthday. Actually, I'll probably be playing poker that time. It's been a while since I played poker, but still got it. And I guarantee there's gonna be like 3 other times I go throughout the year. I won't spoil one of them, but you guys will find out in the future. But anyway, that's it. That is it. That is a show. Feel like we went a little bit longer than I meant to. Not by much. 7 minutes. Not a big deal. But anyway, as always, guys, it's absolute pleasure. We had a lot more people in the crowd today, which I'm like super pumped about. So I'm hoping we can kind of continue this next Monday, of course. Hey, what's going on, brother? Next Monday, of course, I'll be back from Vegas. Oh, no, shit. We won't do Benchwarmers next Monday. We'll have to do it next Thursday because I'll be in Arizona next Monday. But either way, like the majority of the episode is obviously going to be talking about if I succeeded or failed hard at all my sports gambling. But not to mention there's gonna be some other games and stuff going on. And so looking forward to that. Gonna have a surprise for you guys tomorrow on Flip the Script. Austin will not be joining us tomorrow, so it's gonna be the last Madden game. Not of the year, but obviously of the season that we're doing. And hey, Hie, oh dude, yeah, I would love to. Let's do it. Let's play tomorrow. Because I need some competition. I don't want to get my ass handed to me by the computer again. So I think it'd be fun if we just went one-on-one. But anyway, yeah, I gotta surprise you guys for Flip the Script tomorrow. Because obviously we're trying to figure out like how do we continue Flip the Script all the way up through next football season. Well, we got to figure it out. So I'll show that off to you guys tomorrow. But as always, peace and take it easy. And if you don't, take it sleazy. See you guys tomorrow for Flip the Script. Night.